Hi guys, welcome back to Earth to Rosita, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. Before I get started on the topic that I wanted to talk about today, I just wanted to make a quick little disclaimer, or side note, or whatever, to please go and subscribe to my podcast channel. It's just getting started up. I only have 2 podcasts at the moment, and I'm recording another podcast tonight, so I'm really excited about that channel. I'm trying to get that channel a bit more boosted up as well. So please, I will link it below, and go hit the subscribe button for podcasts over there. There's going to be a lot of spiritual topics, controversial topics, political topics. That's what I want to do with that channel. So now that little note is out of the way, it's been an underwhelming day. Started out really nice and sunny, and then all of a sudden, the geoengineering began by the government. And, it became cold as hell. And I feel like I'm about to get a cold. So that's just fantastic. So today's topic is something that I've actually been experiencing quite a lot these days. And I made a video about this a little bit ago, a couple of weeks ago, but I feel like I'm just more my authentic self when I'm in my car, so I'm gonna try to get this message across really concisely, not too long, and I'm not doing the best job right now because I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, oh my god. Censorship. So, what is censorship? Censorship in the virtual reality specifically that I'm talking about, that, eventually will trickle onto the real world, or has already trickled onto the real world, depending where you live in the world. And the really scary and actually really bad thing about censorship is that it really is trickling out into the real world, even the most free countries in the world, especially America, the United States. So, the freedom capital of the world, the country that is the nation that is supposed to be the freedom capital of the world. It's free speech, the First Amendment is crumbling down in that country, and it's already crumbled down in other Western democracy countries as well. So it's just they're making not laws. I mean, of course some states have laws against certain things that you're not allowed to say, and it's interesting to note that the most authoritarian, the most tyrannical when it comes to banning speech, it's always more on the left wing. I mean, there are some on the right wing as well, but it seems to be more toward the progressive side. And it's really interesting because the left wing, the liberals, the Democrats, registered Democrats, and the Democratic Party of America, they say that they're for social justice, and they say that they're, they are progressive. They call themselves progressive. They call themselves liberal. Or I don't even know if they do anymore, because I'm not in that world anymore. But they're the ones who always want to ban freedom of speech, the First Amendment, more than any other ideology. And maybe on the center left, or on center left when it comes to political ideology or worldview ideology or whatever. The center left is a little bit better, but most of the left wing seems to lean toward shutting people up that want to say certain things. And the reason why I think that this is so dangerous beyond, like, the comprehension of these progressives is because when you have censorship, when you censor somebody or a group of people, then you're effectively, like, banning the idea of your, like, opposition. And what happens when you do that? So it doesn't make you somebody that is for social justice. It doesn't make you the moral high ground. It doesn't make you the person in the right. And, like, let me just give an example. The reason why, like, the founding fathers of the United States said that the First Amendment is so important is because they had foresight that the average everyday person just doesn't anymore, it seems, which is mostly on the left wing, I mean. Because Republicans or conservatives, they don't have that same mindset. They think that everybody should say anything that they want, even things that are hurtful. And I know that it's not nice. It's not okay to say hurtful, fucked up things. And just as a side note, the First Amendment doesn't protect anyone from inciting violence. But even that is, like, a dangerous slippery slope that progressives are trying to go down, because they're trying to extend out what it means, what violence actually means. To them, violence no longer really means, like, physically in the real world assaulting someone or damaging their property, that kind of thing. They're trying to extend violence, words are violence, out to just saying words, just saying something, like, that's not what the First Amendment was really talking about when it said that, like, violence isn't protected under the First Amendment. Like, I feel like I'm explaining this so poorly, but what I mean is if somebody calls you, like, a bad word, then that's not physical violence. It's fucked up and it's wrong and people shouldn't do that, but it's not physical violence. If somebody calls you, like, fat or whatever, that's not physical violence, because they're not doing anything to you. They're saying hurtful things, and we should work toward a society that doesn't say that. But the reason why I think that these things should be protected, these, like, our right to, like, our freedom to speak, it's because when you allow someone to say something that's on their mind, no matter how fucked up it is, you're essentially allowing a dialogue. You're essentially allowing the other person to express themselves, and then you, as the moral high ground, who already has evolved to the point where you know that it's wrong, you have the right to make a case against what they say. So, for example, if somebody's being racist or something, you let them say what they want in an ideal world. You let them say what, like, not in an ideal world. I don't even know why I said that. You let them say what they want, and then you ask them, why did you say that? This is Libra moon wisdom. Why did you say that? What's going through your mind that makes you think this way? Can we work it out together? That's real progressivism, you know? And then, you know, like, they could, when two people start to speak, or when one person is saying something fucked up, and then, like, a group of people are just listening in and are shocked by what the hate speech, like hurtful speech is saying, then yeah, the society can work it out. And now that, like, it's kind of like a childish thing on the part of the verbal aggressor, you know, like, oh, they have this pent-up rage that they want to express, and they finally got to express it. So now we can move forward together, and, like, we can get the child, the immature-minded person, to see a different point of view. So, like, I don't know, I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago or something, this was kind of creeping in, like, this whole, like, in Australia, we have, like, a politician over here, Pauline Hanson. She always, like, they would always get snippets of her on television talking about Muslims and how she doesn't want people, like, she doesn't want refugees to, you know, come into the country illegally or whatever. They painted her as a racist, you know? They said, oh, she doesn't like Muslims. She's racist toward the hijabis or whatever. Like, just, like, rubbish like that. And now that I actually, you know, have matured enough to the point to, like, not let, like, labels define what a person says, and let me just, like, allowed myself to listen to what they say. She wasn't saying anything controversial. She was just saying that she wants Australia first. Australians first. That's what she was saying. She wasn't being racist. She wasn't saying, oh, anything about the skin color of the person. She wasn't saying anything about the religion of the person. Like, that's not religion has nothing to do with race. Sorry. Although it kind of does, because certain races have certain religions. Like, Middle Eastern cultures are more likely to be Muslim, you know, or Christian, because Christianity and Muslim were founded in the Middle East. So yeah, it's kind of like, it makes sense in my head anyways. Or, this is my favorite one, conspiracy theorists. So for the last 2 years, or for me personally, for the last, like, 10 months or something, I've just, like, because I joined in the freedom fighting crowd, I finally looked at the point of view of, like, anti-vaccine people, and I've looked at the point of view of conspiracy theorist people. When I actually listened to what they said, what they're saying, they're not actually anti-jab or or they're not actually nuts, you know. They back their conspiracy theories up with facts, you know, like, they show you what they're talking about. Whereas, like, I don't know, left-wingers just say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, without even, like, thinking about anything. Like, what is a conspiracy, guys? Conspiracy is, like, two or more people who are like, plotting evil against I don't know, society or something. I screwed that definition up so bad. And theory is, like, a thought that you have that you put together. So that's what conspiracy theory means. And if you think about, like, of course, governments if you know anything about like big pharma, governments, rich people, they're kind of always conspiring in a way. Like, and have you noticed that during the Trump administration, the media was always like accusing Trump of conspiracies. They were like calling him a Nazi. They were like saying, oh, he's gonna like take away abortions and he's gonna like ruin, like he's gonna collude with Russia or something. The media is always painting, like had always been painting this picture of Donald Trump, like a registered Republican or like a Republican president. The media painted him like in such a conspiratorial way. And then when like the people during the C-19 era were doing freedom rally protests, or they were fighting the mandates. We were called anti-vaccine people, even though we're not like majority of us. I mean, some of the crowd was obviously anti-vax, and I don't know, say whatever you want about them, but that's another component of freedom of speech. You have to understand that all of these people coming up with these theories or having a certain stance on these things, there's a reason why. There's something happened in their lives that made them feel that way or think that way. They read something that maybe you didn't. And basically, that's what I'm going to close it off with. Blocking freedom of speech actually regresses a society. It doesn't do what you think that it does. It doesn't, like the C-19 misinformation, it doesn't actually achieve the outcome that you think it does. You're actually anti-science by hooraying these acts of like infringements on free speech. There has to be a discussion around these things, or society is going to be stagnating or regressing. How is it that, like, why is it that so many immigrants, refugees, whatever, they all flood into America? It's because they want a better life. Why do refugees and immigrants come into America? You know? You have to think about these things. They come to America because America is was a prosperous nation. It's going downhill now, and I can see that because, like, of the money printing, and I don't know what's going on with the US dollar. I really hope that it's been maintained, but these people come into Western nations like the US, Canada, Australia, because they want a better life. It's not like, you can argue that there are problems within your society without it being centered around like systematic oppression, you know? It doesn't have to be that way. But these conversation needs to be had. It should not be blocked. And these words like transphobe, racist, sexist, xenophobic, all of these words are designed, anti-vaxxer, conspiracy theorists, all of these words are heavy words. I mean, not all of them. Some of these words are heavy words, but they've lost their meaning now to the opposing side because it just, it's nonsensical. Like, the average person is not like, does not hate you for your skin color. And I'm sure like it does exist, But the vast majority of people don't actually give a shit about what you look like, as long as you are a decent person. And I truly believe that. You just have to listen to the other side. You can't block out the other side just because something that they say hurts you. You know? It's just like, it's not going to do what you think it does. And it's actually going to move us back as a society instead of forward. So that's all that I'm going to say about why censorship is dangerous and wrong, and why nobody should be accepting of it, even if it hurts your feelings. If it hurts your feelings, you can block the person, you can delete the comment, you can move away. That's the beauty of social media. We need to restore what social media was like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. If someone says something that hurts you, mute them, block them, ignore it. Just like you do in real life. Like if somebody comes up to you in real life and starts shouting at you or something, you can either get aggressive, which maybe some people will do, or you can just walk away. You can walk away. God gave you two legs for a reason. And yeah, that's my stance on this. I stand firm in it. I don't think that freedom of speech should be accepted. And the consequences, if it does become accepted fully, won't be good. It won't be good. Hi, it's Earth to Rosita in the future. I'm just editing now, and I realized the little mistakes that I made in this section. I meant to say infringements on freedom of speech, and if freedom of speech is infringed upon, then that won't be good. That won't be good. That's what I meant. Sorry, guys. They'll come after some of us, and then they'll come after all of us eventually. So yeah, that's my stance, and just gonna throw out a couple of other platforms for you guys to go on, because Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube, they're just like, they have all of these policies for restrictions of freedom of speech, and it's not impressive anymore. So the one freedom of speech platform that I highly recommend, and I wish Elon Musk would invest in this, getongab.com. That guy, he won't bend the knee at all for freedom, for freedom of speech. The amount of hoops that he has had to jump through to maintain his platform, it's great. I really think that Andrew, which is the owner of Gab, he's doing a great job, and he deserves more people to go on his platform, because even if it says something, even if people say things that aren't nice, at least you get to have your voice be heard, no matter what you think, no matter what you say, no matter how many people disagree, and you will never be kicked off. You can't be. Unless, of course, you're literally inciting violence, which is not protected under the First Amendment. So yeah, subscribe to my podcast channel, subscribe to this channel, follow me on my socials, Instagram and Twitter, and have a lovely day or night. Bye, guys.